The man's throat was pierced by a chainsaw, rendering him unable to move or speak. He could only call 911.
Hello, this is 911. Is anyone there? Hello, I can hear you.
The rookie operator was bewildered, wondering if this was a prank. At that moment, the experienced woman stepped in.
Touch a button if the answer is yes.
Do you need police? Do you need medical assistance?
Are you injured?
The man pressed the button. The operator immediately traced his phone signal and sent firefighters to search for him. They found the man under a tree.
Got a visual! Oh God.
The man's neck was pierced by a blade. They had to first remove the chainsaw from the engine, then quickly bandaged him and send him to the hospital. The guy's left eye is swollen. He just got robbed. But when the cops show up, they refuse to take him to the hospital. Even the firefighters are shocked. That's when everyone notices the ankle monitor on his foot. Turns out, he's out on parole.
But if you remove him before it disconnects, he's gonna go back to jail for violating parole.
But if they don't treat his eye now, he could go blind. No matter how much the firefighters try to convince them, the guy himself refuses to go. He knows what jail is like. There's no way he's risking going back. The firefighters tell him she can explain everything to a judge, but he knows the process takes time.
And how long will be sitting in a cell while some judge sorts that out?
With no other option, the firefighters decide to perform an emergency procedure right there. But they're not surgeons. This is way beyond what they're allowed to do. The captain does not allow her to do this surgery.
If we tried to move him now, he'd lose the eye anyway.
The words made the captain silent. He knows they have no choice. She grab a scalpel, do a quick sterilization. With one precise cut, the pressure in the guy's eye is released. His vision is saved. The call finally comes in. The court approves a temporary release. The ankle monitor is disabled. He can go to the hospital without hesitation. The firefighters get him on his feet and rush him out. The boss complained the employees were working too slowly.
You slowpokes can't keep up with the bots. So because of that, I'm canceling all bathroom breaks until further notice.
The employees were all angry, but didn't dare to say anything. The man couldn't hold it in any longer, but the boss was supervising closely. The man got so frustrated just looking at the robot that he peed on it, unexpectedly. The robot retaliated. It first made a cautious turn, and then crashed directly into a shelf. All the goods in the warehouse came tumbling down. When the firefighters arrived, the man was pinned down and unable to move. They lifted the shelves and pulled him out. The firefighter quickly tried to stop the bleeding, but the man had lost too much blood and fell into a coma. Do you think the boss should be held responsible for this? Doctors put some lubricant on the woman's belly. Then, just a moment ago, the woman had come to the fire station, hoping the firefighters could help her deliver her baby. Because her water had already broken, she sat down on the ground and covered herself with a blanket. But during the checkup, the doctor realized that the baby wasn't in the right position. Without proper equipment, the firefighters had to help by hand.
One more big push next.
The woman, veins popping on her face, pushed with all her strength. Finally, the baby was born. She took the baby from the firefighter. Both mom and baby were safe. Would you have your baby at a fire station? Poor girl was trapped in the washing machine. As the air inside was consumed, she could suffocate at any moment. However, a sudden power outage locked the door. The glass, made in China, couldn't be broken even with the axe. The little girl gradually lost consciousness.
Penny! Penny! Oh, she's looking worse. Stupid industrial flashers!
Since the glass made in China couldn't be broken, the firefighters decided to try a different tool. They pried it open instead of smashing it. After 34 minutes later, the girl was rescued finally, but she was already unconscious. The firefighter administered an adrenaline shot, then used a defibrillator. Finally, the heart monitor showed activity. The little girl also opened her big eyes. Do you know why she got trapped in the washing machine? The firefighter pulls back her hair.
Pockets!
You did this to me!
Oh my gosh, what's happening? This morning, the girl came into the hair salon, said that after the hairdresser did her extensions yesterday, her scalp started to hurt. At first, the hairdresser told her it was normal, but when he saw her scalp, he fainted right there. When the firefighters arrived, they immediately helped her. They used tongs to pull the bugs out. Luckily, The bugs were only on the surface of her scalp. The team leader suggested sending her to the hospital, but Chui said it was better to remove them right away. If they took her to the hospital, they'd probably have to shave her head. When the hairdresser woke up, the firefighters asked him why this happened. The man answered, because the scalp at the shop was so expensive. He bought it from a street vendor, but didn't know where the vendor's scalp came from before, until now. So, do you know where the vendor's scalp came from? A fire happened outside the house, but the homeowner refused to leave.
You got no right to come into my home.
No matter how much the firefighters begged, the old man acted like he didn't hear. The fire kept spreading. It looked like the house was about to collapse.
Be careful. The roof is going.
The firefighter rushed to protect the old man. That's how she saved his life. When he was rescued, he realized he had wrongly blamed the firefighter.
You saved my life.
But the fire was heartless. The neighbor next door had already lost their life to the fire. Even though the firefighters' clothes were badly burned, as long as they could save someone, it was all worth it. What a respectable firefighter. A man's fingers got stuck in the door gap, but when he was found, he had been stuck for hours. Will he survive?
Hey, Vaughn, can you hear us? Make a noise or wiggle your fingers if you can.
Since the room was a freezer, the temperature was really low. The man was likely knocked out from the cold. To save him quickly, the firefighters decided to force the door open.
What about his fingers? I'd rather save his life than save his fingers.
Just as they were about to start, one firefighter suddenly thought of an idea. They could use a tool to keep the door gap open, leaving space for the fingers, then pull the door down. This way, they wouldn't have to cut off his fingers. After getting the green light, the firefighters quickly got to work. They carefully pried open the door. The man was finally saved. Luckily, he still had a pulse. It was a very lucky break in an unlucky situation. 100,000 people are watching the Euro Cup, but they don't know that the blimp above them is falling. When the firefighters arrive, the blimp is already in two pieces. Even the captain's mouth is wide open. The firefighters quickly cut the power, set up the ladder, but just as he reached the blimp, a strong wind suddenly blows, causing the blimp to shake violently. Eddie carefully moves, rescues the co-pilot, and quickly jumps into her seat. The unconscious captain wakes up slowly after some Thai massage. When the captain steps down the ladder, Eddie sees the chance, jumps back to the ladder. Which team are you rooting for? Have you ever seen a car on a power pole? Well, the firefighters hadn't. Just a moment ago, the man's heart condition acted up. He hit the gas pedal, and the car ended up on the power pole. To rescue him, the firefighters had to set up a ladder. But when they got there, the man in the car was so scared he wet himself. The liquid and sparks ignited the gasoline. The car was about to explode. The two of them finally decided to climb out. Seeing the fire getting bigger, the captain ordered to remove the ladder right away. Then, even though the car was burned, the power line stayed the same. Can anyone tell me where to buy this power line? The father was teaching his daughter how to use a nail gun, but after he said that, he fell down. When the firefighters arrived, the man's blood pressure was really low. To find the nail's location, they cut open his shirt and saw the nail was right by his heart. After checking, the firefighters found fluid around his heart. They thought he had cardiac tamponade and needed to go to the hospital right away, but the man was really optimistic.
Okay, let's do that.
They lifted him onto a stretcher to head to the hospital, but suddenly he went into shock. The team quickly started CPR, but it made the man's wound bigger.
I think I'm making a hole in his heart bigger.
They'll fix it at the hospital, but only if he's not dead.
So they kept trying to save him, and finally brought back his heartbeat.